My fellow St. Lucians, good evening, and let me wish all of you a very happy new year. 2014 has been a turning point for the major economies of the world. We've witnessed a dramatic reduction in unemployment and national debt in those economies. Such growth in the economies of our major trading partners, the United States, the United Kingdom, and Canada, has meant the doors of opportunity were once again open to the smaller economies like St. Lucia. Unfortunately, whilst global economic pressures have forced other governments to rethink their social and economic policies and to adapt to the new reality, sadly, we've been saddled with an inept government unable to handle these challenges and unable to generate any kind of economic activity or growth. St. Lucia's economy has contracted for the last 3 consecutive years, while all other OECS countries have seen positive economic growth. We have a government still stuck in the past, unwilling to change an economic plan which has been an abject failure. A government totally consumed with playing politics, with victimizing its critics, and a government unable or unwilling to create and execute a winning vision for the development of our country. We've seen record numbers in unemployment, in particular amongst the youth. Record numbers of suicides, again in particular amongst male youth. Record numbers of companies closing their doors. In fact, according to the Economic and Social Review of 2013, the banks have had to increase their allowances for bad debts due to the high number of foreclosures on homes and vehicles. We've also seen a record number of people crying out for help. Families and small businesses have had to tighten their belts and make extraordinarily difficult decisions and sacrifices just to survive. For many, dreams of prosperity have been shattered by this government, and many others have simply lost hope. It is clear that any progress we've made in eliminating poverty since our independence has been eroded in the last 3 years, both on an individual level and a national scale. And every one of us knows it. As the expression goes, he who feels it knows it, and we all feel it. So as we stand here on the cusp of a new year, the question becomes, how do we change things for the better? We've just heard once again the tired old talking points repeated by our Prime Minister in his national address. A disappointing speech, blaming the world economy for St. Lucia's failures, instead of admitting to us what we already know, that he and his cabinet have not come up with one innovative idea to lift us out of our misery. Instead, we heard once again about the formation of yet another economic committee. Although 1 year later, we've not seen or heard any results from the previous 2 committees which were formed to boost economic activity: the Productivity and Efficiency Committee and the Visionary Council. We only have to examine our failing economy to see how unproductive, inefficient, and void of vision these committees have been. We can now see that this government is just about talk, because this government's sole focus is about staying in power for power's sake, not to help us. They're bent on trying to silence their critics and to victimize all those who speak out against them, even when it means stifling our democracy. When was the last time that we saw a government ad touting a new investment opportunity or a new policy to bring us relief? Never. Because they have nothing to say. They have no policies to advertise. They have no understanding of what they are doing. So instead, they spend their time producing ads which are personal attacks on members of our party, and not once have they dealt with any issue of national importance. While these attacks are ineffective against our party members, the vicious attacks on ordinary citizens who voice their concerns is troubling, And our party is on a quest to put an end to this tyranny and to put an end to a government that is clueless about how to fix our beloved solution. And it is in pursuit of these goals that United Workers' Party has embarked on a journey to bring change. But we know that to make effective change, we ourselves must be willing to change where necessary. And change does not come easy. You've seen the difficulties our party has experienced over the past 18 months in restructuring and in trying to bring discipline and honor back to United Workers' Party. But change must occur. An ambitious vision, a well-planned mission, and strong values are an integral part of every successful company, every successful political party, and yes, every successful nation. Our party has looked at our past and critically examined what we have done well and what we all have not done so well. But the United Workers' Party has always been committed to the success of our country. And that can only be attained by ensuring the well-being of each and every person. And this means putting programs and policies in place to ensure the elimination of poverty, which include providing real incentives to boost investment, reviewing energy costs and examining ways of reducing the cost of electricity, reviewing VAT and other taxes to ensure a less burdensome tax regime, and to put more money in the hands of St. Lucians to increase consumption, to invest more in and about to be more innovative in education, healthcare, public safety, and critical infrastructure. We need a government that can earn the respect and concerns of all St. Lucians. And we as an opposition are preparing ourselves for governance. Not just to win an election, as we've seen with this Labour Party. The United Workers' Party is tonight pledging to you that we will work tirelessly to provide the following to all St. Lucians. A globally competitive education. The world today demands no less. We intend to invest more in our teachers, not cut their pay, which is already too low, as the government has attempted to do. We need to tailor our curricula to make the demands of the global marketplace and to create more innovation and breed a new generation of entrepreneurs. We will focus on the development of the arts and to insist that it forms a critical part of our education curriculum. Film production, dance, music, creative writing, painting, drama, all these subjects must be offered to our students to give them the widest avenues for success. And this creative spirit is what will drive the preservation of what is distinctly St. Lucian for generations to come. We must endow our students with the necessary skills required for success in this century, such as critical thinking and leadership. We'll provide a safe living environment free from violence and from the factors which engender violence. We must aim to provide safe shelters within communities for women and children, especially those in high-risk areas. We must try to reinstill our youth stronger family values and a sense of belonging, so they don't fall prey to the negative influences. We must also provide social programs to engage our youth so we can address the school dropout rate, idle youth, and teen pregnancies. We'll provide a more efficient judicial system. We are conducting a critical review of the entire criminal justice system. And as part of this, we're looking at creating a program where first-time juvenile offenders can be housed in rehabilitation centers instead of a prison facility, where they can be taught life skills to re-assimilate them back into society to make a positive contribution, without the stigma of a criminal record and jail time. We'll provide the necessary resources to support our police force. And in particular, we'll focus on crime prevention and more effective crime solving. Our police officers put their lives on the line every day to protect us, and we must work with them to provide the tools and support that they need to carry out their duties. Effective crime prevention and crime solving can only be achieved with the support of government and the assistance of each and every one of us. We'll provide new initiatives to help our farmers and fisher folks who play such a critical role in our economy. And we will make agriculture a major focus of our development plan. One such initiative will be a modern farmers market, which will work with the hotels, local grocery outlets, and export markets. This agricultural hub will establish a more structured and efficient supply process. No longer will farmers have to guess what they should grow, or bear the uncertainty of what price they will sell, or to whom they will sell. Farmers will be given fixed contracts for the supply of produce. This will assist farmers in better managing their individual finances, as well as providing them with the certainty required to obtain bank loans. United Workers' Party has always played an integral role in the banana industry. And whilst the industry has suffered several setbacks in recent years, our party remains committed to its resurgence and pledges to provide the required support in that regard. It would be remiss of me not to recognize the support provided in this sector by the Taiwanese government, to whom our farmers and our country owe our eternal gratitude. And I wish to offer our sincerest thanks for those enormous contributions, in particular relation to the control of the Black Sigatoka disease. We will provide an economic climate where any St. Lucian who wants to open a business and is willing to take on the risk can do so. We will concentrate our efforts on boosting manufacturing, and our party has already started engaging key players in that sector to determine the key issues plaguing manufacturers. Our party is very clear that we must review the impact of VAT and energy cost, both of which have unquestionably contributed to higher prices, lower revenues, and the lack of competitiveness of the sector. We will implement innovative policies to reinvigorate our construction industry, which has declined significantly in recent years. Here was an era where the government needed to act, and to act effectively. And instead we got the superficial construction stimulus, which did not generate any significant activity. A United Workers' Party government will initiate programs to generate new housing projects, new hotel developments, and to improve and modernize the island's infrastructure, such as the new Hunora International Airport, the North-South Highway, and the Castries Redevelopment Plan, among others. The United Workers' Party will continue to build on its proven track record on developing the tourism sector. We are all pleased that after years of criticism of United Workers' Party's tourism policies, this government has finally embraced the same policies in regards to airlift and recognized the obvious, that there is a direct correlation between airlift and growth of the tourism sector, and that to increase airlift, we have to provide economic incentives from time to time to airlines. We will review and implement more appropriate and competitive concessions to local and foreign investors with a view to substantially increasing the number of hotel rooms, which we have, as this is the only way our product can truly grow. We must also recognize that foreign investors do have choices as to where to invest their money, and we must make it more attractive and easier for investors to do business in St. Lucia. Tangible economic growth is within our grasp. This is illustrated in the neighboring islands of St. Kitts, Barbados, Antigua, and Grenada, all of which been successful in attracting foreign direct investment, while St. Lucia has not been able to do so. This government is the very definition of insanity, using the same old tired policies, but yet foolishly expecting different results. We will provide an energy-efficient country. United Workers' Party is cognizant that the complaints of the households and businesses from the high cost of energy. They continue to feel the squeeze in their monthly electricity bills, and we see no effort by this government to address this chronic situation. United Workers' Party is committed to exploring all alternative sources of energy to address the plight of St. Lucians, as the island's productivity and growth are directly linked to the cost of electricity. We are unwavering in our commitment to develop a country in which every St. Lucian who wants a job and is willing to work can get a job. And ultimately, a country in which everyone has the opportunity to chase their dreams and to prosper. United Workers' Party has recognized that all of these are critical to the development and the success of our nation. And we've reviewed our policies and realized that we have to adopt more effective, efficient, and importantly, innovative strategies in order to make these goals a reality. We've realized that we must become a team and not just a party. A team that puts our mission and vision ahead of our own individual interest. A team that appreciates the urgency of the situation at hand. And a team that is willing to make the necessary sacrifices to fix it. As a party, we've hosted retreats, seminars, strategy sessions, encouraged participation from all constituency branches, and established think tanks so we can strengthen the party as a whole. We want to assure you that whenever the election bell rings, United Workers' Party will be the preferred party to govern this country. As a party, we've embraced the values we believe all responsible St. Lucians share. Honesty, discipline, confidentiality, commitment, and mutual respect. And mutual respect does not mean that we all agree all the time, or that we will not have differences of opinion. But we disagree respectfully and hopefully learn something from each other in the process. The party has been actively recruiting new members who also share these values, and we are proud to announce that our membership has increased by over 100%. We know that many of you are fed up with the politics of today, and it's easy sometimes just to paint all politicians with the same brush. We know how many of you believe that life can be better and should be better. And there is a tendency to blame all politicians for these failings. But you have to accept you cannot just cast a vote once every 5 years and expect that things will change. But real change requires you to be present. Real change requires you to demand that your government and your representatives be accountable to you. Real change requires your constant involvement, your participation. These are the rights afforded to us by our Constitution, and rights which others have fought to preserve for us. We must protect these rights when others seek to trample upon them. United Workers' Party now calls upon all St. Lucians to get involved, to participate in the fight for change. We call upon the Prime Minister and his government to stop deceiving the public and to ease the plight of St. Lucians at the pump. The exorbitant gas prices are crippling our economy and reducing any real chance which it may have at growth. The public is crying for relief, and we have nothing to hold on to except the false promises of better days and jobs, 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 neither of which have materialized. The Prime Minister refuses to give St. Lucians a satisfactory explanation of the Greinberg scandal and the legal costs associated with it. All we know is that Mr. Greinberg is claiming $500 million, and this could ultimately bankrupt our country. The government has made a unilateral decision to decrease government workers' salaries by 5%. It imposed a VAT at a rate which has destroyed our economy. increased the price of water by 66%, reduced the subsidies on rice, flour, and sugar, and removed the airport tax, which had brought in about $50 million to the country's coffers. This action has caused the country to lose the opportunity to generate a significant portion of the funding required to fund a new airport. As many of you know, United Workers' Party has taken the government to task on its gas prices, in particular in relation to how this affects bus fares for average solutions. A reduction at the pump, as we've all been advocating, will mean bus fares will not have to be increased. It will lighten the burden on taxi drivers. The cost of doing business will come down. More money will be in circulation, which will, when taken together, provide a much needed stimulus to the economy. We've seen the Prime Minister's spin doctors working overtime, trying to convince us that the current 3-month pass-through mechanism is the most beneficial to consumers. We now know this to be categorically untrue. The truth has been revealed in recent statements made by the government's own civil servants, which back up precisely what the United Workers' Party has been saying all along. Despite their claims that they are not benefiting from the surplus, we now know that the government has been earning a massive quarterly surplus on the backs of hard-working solutions, and yet it refuses to reduce the price of gas at the pump. Lies, spin, excuses, victimization, personal attacks have become the hallmarks of this administration, which has proven to be an abject failure. And enough is enough. We cannot take any more, and we must demand change. The protest march scheduled for tomorrow is a call to action for all St. Lucians to demonstrate their dissatisfaction with the state of affairs of our country and the damage inflicted by the policies of this government on our people, our economy, and our country. We must show this government that they need to act now, to ease our plight, to reduce our burden, and to actually start acting like a government which cares about all solutions. Whilst there is a massive groundswell of support for our march, we know that there are many of you listening tonight who are afraid to come out publicly for fear of victimization. But we are already being victimized, and we have nothing left to lose. In the words of Dale Carnegie, the famous US entrepreneur, inaction breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. If you want to conquer fear, do not sit at home and think about it. Go out and get busy. May God continue to bless you, your families, and our country. Thank you for listening, and good night.